The Town That Whispers, Secrets of the Abandoned Murder Town. In the heart of a desolate landscape lay an abandoned town, its streets shrouded in an eerie silence. The once thriving community had been plagued by a series of gruesome murders that had never been solved. Amelia, a relentless journalist with a penchant for the macabre, was drawn to the town's grim history and set out to uncover its darkest secrets. As she ventured deeper into the town, the air grew heavy with an unshakable unease. Buildings, their windows shattered and walls scarred with time, bore witness to a horrific past. Amelia's footsteps echoed ominously as she explored the forsaken streets, determined to unravel the mysteries that had plagued the town for decades. Amelia's investigations led her to a decrepit, abandoned house that had once been the epicenter of the murders. The walls bore cryptic symbols and faded bloodstains that seemed to speak of horrors long forgotten. As she entered, a chilling wind rustled through the decayed remnants of the interior. In the dim light, Amelia's flashlight revealed a wall adorned with newspaper clippings and photographs, a morbid gallery of the victims. She knew she was treading on treacherous ground, but her determination to uncover the truth urged her onward. As midnight approached, the house seemed to come alive with a sinister energy. Whispers, soft and malevolent, emanated from the shadows. Amelia's pulse quickened and she felt the weight of unseen eyes upon her. She called out, "Is anyone here?" A flicker of movement caught her eye, a figure materializing before her, its form murky and indistinct. It was the spirit of a woman, her face etched with an expression of terror and despair. Amelia's voice trembled as she asked, "What happened here?" The spirit's voice was a haunting murmur as she recounted the grim tale. A serial killer who had terrorized the town, a reign of terror that had ended with his death by suicide. But the victims' restless spirits remained, trapped by the horrors they had endured. Amelia's empathy grew as she listened to their stories, her heart aching for the innocent lives that had been lost. The town whispered its secrets, revealing the names and faces of the forgotten victims and the dark truth that had remained hidden for so long. With tears in her eyes, Amelia promised to tell their stories, to ensure that the world knew of the horrors that had unfolded within the town's cursed walls. As the first rays of dawn broke through the windows, the spirit's form began to dissipate, their voices fading into the ether. Amelia left the abandoned town, forever haunted by the encounter. She carried with her the burden of the victims' stories, determined to shed light on the darkness that had plagued the forsaken place. The town may have been abandoned, but its secrets would no longer remain hidden in the shadows. The last hike, persuaded by darkness. Mark had always been an avid hiker, seeking solace in the untouched wilderness of the mountains. But as the sun dipped below the horizon one evening, his friends, Alex and Sarah, persuaded him to join them for a last-minute night hike. Reluctantly, he agreed, drawn by the excitement of adventure and camaraderie. As they ascended the trail, the forest around them grew increasingly dense. The moon provided scant illumination, casting eerie shadows that played tricks on their senses. Mark couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone, that the woods were alive with unseen eyes. Alex, the group's adventurous spirit, urged them deeper into the wilderness, promising a spectacular view from a secluded ridge. Sarah, ever the peacemaker, followed along, her flashlight casting wavering beams into the inky darkness. Mark, however, began to regret his decision, feeling the weight of the forest's watchful silence. The hike continued for what felt like hours, the path growing steeper and more treacherous. Mark couldn't help but question the wisdom of their late-night escapade. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it an unsettling sense of foreboding. It was then that they heard it, a distant, mournful howl that sent shivers down their spines. Mark's heart raced as he tried to dismiss it as a trick of the wind, but the howls grew closer.
The shadow in the alley, a nightmarish encounter. In the heart of a bustling city, where neon lights illuminated the night, a narrow alleyway snaked its way through the urban labyrinth. It was a place where darkness reigned, a haven for the forgotten and the unseen. Jane, a young photographer with an insatiable curiosity, often wandered the city streets in search of the perfect shot. One fateful night, as the clock struck midnight, Jane found herself drawn to the mysterious allure of the alley. Armed with her camera and a sense of adventure, she ventured into the inky darkness. The city's cacophony faded behind her, replaced by an eerie silence. As Jane delved deeper into the alley, the walls seemed to close in around her, the air growing heavy with a palpable malevolence. Unfazed by the unsettling atmosphere, she continued her exploration, her camera ready to capture the enigmatic beauty of the forgotten space. It was then that she saw it. A shadowy figure, hunched and twisted, lurking at the alley's far end. Jane's pulse quickened, but her determination to capture the perfect shot drove her forward. She raised her camera, the flash momentarily illuminating the figure. In that fleeting moment, she glimpsed its grotesque features, an ashen, elongated face with hollow eyes that seemed to penetrate her soul. The figure's presence was undeniably sinister, a malevolence that sent shivers down her spine. Jane's camera flash had angered the entity, and it lunged toward her with unnatural speed. Panic surged through her as she turned to flee, her footsteps echoing in the narrow confines of the alley. But the shadowy figure was relentless, its twisted form closing in with every step. As Jane raced toward the alley's exit, a feeling of dread washed over her. The walls seemed to stretch and contort, shifting like a labyrinth, designed to trap her. Desperation fueled her, and she summoned every ounce of strength to break free. Just as she reached the alley's entrance, the entity's fingers brushed against her, sending a surge of cold terror through her veins. With one final leap, Jane burst into the blinding neon lights of the city streets, gasping for breath. The alleyway was silent once more, the malevolent presence contained within its depths. Jane's heart pounded as she realized the nightmarish encounter she had just survived. She knew she had glimpsed a darkness that defied explanation, a shadowy entity that existed beyond the realm of the known. As she left the alley behind, Jane carried the memory of the encounter with her, a reminder that the city's underbelly held secrets that were best left undisturbed. The shadow in the alley had become a nightmarish enigma, a chilling testament to the boundaries of reality and the horrors that lurked in the hidden corners of the world. The Haunting of Hollow House. In the heart of a desolate forest stood an ancient mansion known as Hollow House. Its twisted, ivy-covered facade exuded an eerie charm that beckoned the curious. Sarah, an adventurous spirit with a fascination for the supernatural, ventured to the mansion, her footsteps echoing ominously on the overgrown path. As she crossed the threshold, a bone-chilling chill enveloped her, and the atmosphere grew oppressively heavy. Cobwebs adorned the decaying walls, and the flickering candlelight cast grotesque shadows that danced to an otherworldly rhythm. Unfazed by the eerie ambiance, Sarah set her flashlight to explore the house's mysteries. As the night deepened, a haunting tune drifted through the air, an old piano played by invisible hands. The melody was melancholic, resonating with a sense of longing that gripped Sarah's heart. She followed the sound to a grand parlor where an antique piano stood in the dim light. The keys moved on their own, creating a spectral symphony that sent shivers down her spine. Sarah's voice quivered as she spoke into the darkness. "Who's there?" But her words were met only with the haunting melody, its notes growing more hypnotic. A figure materialized at the piano, its form translucent yet undeniably present. It was a woman, her eyes hollow and vacant, her fingers gliding across the keys. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she realized she was in the presence of a restless spirit. The woman, Emily, seemed lost in her own world, her voice a whisper as she sang a haunting lullaby. Sarah listened, captivated by the tragic beauty of the melody. Emily's story unfolded like a ghostly tapestry, a life cut short, a love betrayed, and a promise that had gone unfulfilled. The room seemed to vibrate with emotion, and Sarah's empathy grew. She extended her hand, her fingertips brushing against Emily's spectral form. Their connection was electric, a bridge between the living and the dead. Sarah could feel Emily's pain, her sorrow, and her desire for closure. With tears in her eyes, Sarah whispered, "I won't forget you." Emily's form began to waver, her presence fading like mist. The parlor fell silent, the echoes of the haunting lullaby lingering in the air. Sarah knew that she had shared a moment with a spirit trapped in the liminal space between life and death. As dawn's first light touched the mansion's windows, Sarah left Hollow House, forever changed by the encounter. The mansion's history, once a mere legend, now lived within her. She carried with her the responsibility of sharing Emily's story, of ensuring that her haunting melody was heard by the world. In the end, Sarah realized that Hollow House was not just a place of ghostly tales. It was a testament to the enduring power of love, loss, and the profound connections that could transcend the boundaries of life and death.
Don't miss a single tale of mystery and intrigue. If you've been captivated by the haunting stories we've shared today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Join our community of curious souls as we delve into the realms of the supernatural, unraveling the enigmatic threads of history and uncovering the secrets that lie hidden in the shadows. Prepare to be spellbound by our captivating narratives, so you'll never miss out on a spine-tingling adventure. Subscribe now and embark on a journey beyond reality.